Oh, it's Cinco de Mayo. Let's see what kind of Mexican beer we got today.
Oh, BC's Beer Reviews. BC's Beer Reviews. So, guys, it's another episode of BC's Beer Reviews. Got another special guest. Same guest, but special nonetheless. Got my brother Sean again. And he chose the beer today. Show him what we got this time.
Tecate.
Now, it's a Mexican beer. Now, I asked him about this. Now, he said that he had no pre-planned this for Cinco de Mayo. And if
No, I just bought this.
he didn't plan this, yeah.
No, because I was either going to buy this or Red Stripe, which is like a Jamaican, I think, lager. And I went with this one because it was like $1 cheaper. That's literally it. I took them both to the register. Because I knew how much this cost. There was a price tag on it, but there wasn't one on the Red Stripe. So I took them both up. I took the Red Stripe up, and I'm like, how much is this? And it's, they said like $10.99. It was $1 more. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna get the Tecate instead. But yeah, did not put any thought into the fact that Cinco de Mayo is coming up.
Yeah, which, if my math is right, or if I remember right, it's Wednesday. And we're recording on a Saturday. So, this kind of gets us in before Cinco de Mayo. Get this video in before everybody else starts posting on Wednesday. Or whatever day Cinco de Mayo is. Now, this one comes in at a 4.5 APV. No IBUs to speak of, and I visited the website. So, now, they say this is born in Baja, California. So, according to the website, Mexico is in the U.S. So, it's one of them things.
Wait, what?
Mexico is in the U.S.
What says that?
The website. So, now, anyways, also according to the website, they only use 3 ingredients to this beer: hops, barley, and water. So, sometimes you can't go wrong with a good, simple, straight beer. Sometimes. And it seems like this is it.
Well, the one thing I always liked about Tecate is like the design. I always look like the majestic bird and stuff, and like just the red and silver design of the can and the casing itself. It's got a really nice look to it that sticks out.
Yeah, now I've kind of seen this, but never really paid it much mind to it. And the day he brought this case home, my first thought was, man, it makes me think of Mexican beer. Sure enough.
Because it is Mexican beer.
Sure enough.
Well, the thing is, I'll be honest, I think I probably never heard of this until I started watching like Lucha Libre.
No.
And I mean like actual wrestling in Mexico. Like actual Lucha Libre, because at least the way it used to be, probably still is.
Yeah,
but you had 2 main companies, but either way, whichever company you watched back then, at least it used to be, everything, like, there was always just advertisements on the ring, on the outside, for either 2 things: this or Corona. Like, that's everything in Lucha Libre is just plastered with those 2 beer advertisements.
Yeah, since I've already done Corona on the show, I thought it was kind of fitting that he picked this beer that I haven't done. So, it's one of them weird, wacky deals, man. I don't know how else to explain it.
And technically I have had this before. I had it about like last summer, but I don't remember how it tasted or anything, because I only had like one.
Yeah, now see, for me, this is my first time getting into this type of beer. Now, granted, a lot of these beers that you see me try on this show is my genuine first time trying a lot of these beers. I mean, with the exception, unless I say specifically in the video, a lot of them are my first time trying these beers. So here's another first of trying a beer I haven't had yet. Thanks to Sean. So, well, let's get to cracking. Oh, drunk. Crack goes.
Beer can?
Yep.
Why'd you stop?
It took me a second to think about it. It's been a second since I used that phrase. I gotta bring that boy back, man, for real. Yeah, as you can tell by the pages of my book, it's pretty windy out here in Michigan today. But it's like 60 degrees outside, and you know me, I'm a fool for recording outside. Started recording outside literally a year ago on the 28th of April. Well, okay, I know it's past the 28th now, but still. It's what, May 1st?
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, the 28th and the 1st are what, like 3 days apart?
Another thing I will say, I don't know if you caught this, BC, but if you look on the little, like the can opener.
Yeah. Oh, it's got that little eagle.
It's got the little. There's like a little.
If you want
a little like cutout of like the bird. Here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's like in the top part of the can.
Yeah,
opener.
you see the eagle on the can. That's what they got on the little tab of the can there.
I know. So I know it doesn't really. I know it's a completely different category, but I would give this beer a pretty high rating for like design and like packaging. They put some thought into it, especially for like, you know, at least what I understand to be a fairly common domestic beer for Mexico.
Yeah, you know, in a way, I'm kind of surprised this type of beer made it this far up to Michigan, seeing how far we are from Mexico. But then again, this company, the parent company of this brewery is Heineken. So they got the distribution power to ship it all over.
Mm-hmm.
So that explains why it's here, because of the parent company Heineken. Now does appear fairly quick on this, so I'm basically getting the film on the top as he is. Now, I don't know about you, but the carbonation rate on here seems to be pretty high to me. Now, it's kind of a golden color. You can practically see through there, you know. And I mean, now me, I really can't see any like sediment or anything in the glass. So, but that's just me. Now, definitely getting the barley off of this. I'm getting a bit of a sweetness off of it. Now, some of them would say, well, that depends. When I get into it, some of them would say it's the brewer's solution. If it tastes sweet to you, it's called the brewer's solution. Okay, some would call it. Now, others might call it high fructose corn syrup.
Or fructose?
Yeah.
Fructose corn syrup.
But it's a like corn thing that brewers use for their beer for the yeast to eat on the sweetness. So, which gives you your alcohol content, which I've already mentioned, which is a 4.5 ABV. So, enough of the jibba jabba and the yawning. Let's get to tasting. Smooth. It's clean. I'll even go as far as say it's refreshing. And yes, there is a bit of a sweetness to it. It's a brewer's solution. What would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. With the, especially like the aftertaste.
Yeah. No.
It reminds me of another beer, but I'm trying to think of it. It might be Heineken, honestly.
Yeah.
But, like, it's probably, to my memory at least, it's probably less strong than Heineken.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Because, like, yeah, that's my thing with Heineken. My memory of Heineken is that it's a little too... Yeah, it's got too much of that same aftertaste, but it's a lot stronger.
To me, I would say it parallels it, but I wouldn't say it's exactly like it, in a way. Now, going by the carbonation rate when we pour the beers, granted, it seems to me with Heineken and this beer, we've got a high carbonation rate. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes carbonation in beer is a good thing. But it just depends on one's personal preference. So, hey, it's like, with a lot of these beer reviewers, you know what I mean? It's personal preference. And I've talked to a few of these guys, and, sometimes I'll ask these guys questions, and they've all came up with the same response, which is like, it's personal preference. And I know I've probably mentioned it before on this show, but it'll be like, okay, Siskel and Ebert. Now, with Siskel and Ebert, you're going to have one guy that's going to like it, one guy that's not going to like it. Or you're going to have both liking it, or you're going to have both not liking it. It just depends on what it is. And Siskel and Ebert, and I know you know, where they've had, almost yelling matches about a movie.
Oh, no, they had shouting matches over some movies.
Yeah.
Well, to me, the quintessential Siskel and Ebert review for that is a Full Metal Jacket. The short story is Siskel gives it a thumbs up, as you would expect any critic to, but Roger Ebert gave it a thumbs down. But he gave it a thumbs down, basically saying, he was basically grading it on a very high curve with Stanley Kubrick movies, and saying he didn't think it was as good as his other stuff.
Okay, now...
So then Siskel doesn't go with that. Instead, he uses the thumbs down, and he uses a movie that Ebert recently gave thumbs up to, asking him, you're really telling people that they should go see Benji the Hunted over Full Metal Jacket, and then that's when Siskel Ebert starts losing his cool, and he's like, that's not what I mean. You know it, and you did that on purpose. Those two knew each other like the back of their hand, though.
Yeah. Well, back to the beer. This ain't a bad beer. And some would call this what? Cervezos?
Cerveza?
Yeah. And
that's what it says on the can.
Yeah. So, I don't mind cervezas from time to time. So, yeah, this ain't actually a bad beer. Now, in a way, I try to come into these reviews kind of without judgment of any beers of any kind, of whatsoever.
I think my thinking of this is that this beer is pretty smooth.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a beer I want to drink a lot of.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another thing to think of too when drinking beer sometimes. It's some beers are they're good for just drinking one or two.
Yeah.
And just being alright. And then some beers, not saying I condone it, wink wink, but other beers are more you can just you can keep drinking them and you don't get sick of it.
Yeah. I mean, I
And
totally get that.
for
Yeah.
me, I feel like this is a beer that if I drink one or two of, perfectly fine with that. But I don't. Right now, I'm thinking I don't think I could drink. I don't think it'd be easy for me to drink an entire 12 pack of this. Like, I think I would get tired of the taste eventually.
Well, I see what he's saying. Now, I'll put it in my perspective. Okay, I see what he's saying. Now, a while back, I did blueberry stout. A while back, I bought a 6 pack. Now, that one, it was good, and it's one of them things that you want to try rarely or once in a while. Now, would I drink a whole 12 pack of that? No. No, I didn't even drink the whole 6 pack of that night. I had to dip into my go-to beer, which by this point, I think if anybody's had watched my show long enough knows it's Milwaukee's best ice. And that's the thing. Now, for me, with this beer, okay, fine. If I had a 6 pack or a 12 pack of this, and if I had the next day off, I don't know how many beers I'll drink, but I'll keep drinking this beer. Because this ain't a bad beer. At least to me. But, but that's just one of them things. I'm just saying, I'm trying to put it in some sort of range, the gauge, you know what I mean? Compared to some other beers, yeah, I'm going to drink this all night. But compared to other beers, no, I'm not going to drink this all night. That's what I'm trying to say.
So, in other words, you're saying it's not the best beer, but it's not the worst beer.
Exactly. It's kind of in the middle of the road beer to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll drink it. But it's starting to rain outside, so we're going to have to wrap this up real quick. So, what kind of grade do you want to give this?
We do out of 10, right?
Yeah, we do a 10 system here, yeah.
Do you know what you're rating it?
Yeah, let me double check. Yeah, I do.
I also want to say, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm off my hinges. This might also remind me of like hams in taste. This might be a lot like hams because it does have that kind of like aftertaste. But I always felt like, for instance, like Heineken was stronger.
Oh.
And this is a little weak, milder. But I like that about it.
What do they call that? Adjunct.
But yeah, what would you say though?
As far as the grade, I'd give this a 7. A 7.
I'm gonna go with a 6.
That's fine.
But kudos to them for the design though. If we're talking about the design, I'm gonna give this at least an 8 for the can. It's half the reason I bought it.
Okay, well,
I'll bump it up to a 9. 9 in design, 6 in the actual taste.
all right, well, as you can hear the rain falling. Seeing how I'm the producer, I'm kicking us out.
BC's going to drink some beers, so take a seat, baby, have no fear.